Oh, hello. I will do a bit of a history lesson, but it's going to be a whistle-stop tour. I'm thrilled to be here in Wales. This is the first networking event for the IEP in Wales. I've got two hats on today, so I sit on the board of the IEP, but as Scott said, I'm the Director of Employment Plus in the Salvation Army, and Employment Plus is the employability arm of the Salvation Army. We do lots of different things. We're a church, we're a charity, we have lots of different charitable expressions. Thrilled to be here in Newport, not only because my mum grew up just round the corner, but to share some of the great work that's been happening here. And I'm really thrilled to see the whole team here because Sam does a great job. She'll talk about the programme in a moment, but it's really a team effort here. And we've seen some great results with the local people going into work, progressing forward, being more employable. So it's great to tell the story. Less so these days, but when we started doing employability here in the UK, Employment Plus has been doing this for 20 years in Australia in the same manner that it does here, working with the job centre equivalent, helping people into work. But here in the UK, we were about 11 years old. And in the early days, everyone used to ask, why does the Salvation Army do this? Less so these days. I guess I've been going around and shouting about it for a while, but I thought I will do a little history lesson. So in case anybody doesn't know, I'll tell you for why. So, in October of 1890, so we're going back a little bit now, the founder of the Salvation Army, William Booth, published a book called In Darkest England and the Way Out. And it was basically almost like a social action book, quite literally to say, we are in darkest England. Things aren't very great here. There's loads of poverty, there's destitution, there's all sorts of not great things going on. And I'm going to launch a social programme to talk about how we will help people out of that. So his purpose was twofold. So firstly, he wanted to wake the country up to the conditions that people were living in, how the poor were living, what was going on, and he described them as the submerged tenth. You know, tenth of the population were almost submerged, invisible. You can see maybe just on the screen there, sort of lost in a sea of despair, really. And the second point was to actually provide practical solutions to help them out of it. And you'll see up the top that the keystone really of his social programme, and it was quite a big book and it had a couple of editions. We still use it as a sort of a manual today, was work for all. Work for all. So there was really no question in his mind that we were to give people a hand up and not just a handout. So you can see here, people ask, why do you do this? Well, actually, the Salvation Army opened the first labour exchange in 1890. So he could understand that as well as giving people food, shelter, love, all that kind of thing, actually practical help, getting people to into work was really one of the only ways, if not the only way, to get them out of poverty. So we've superimposed some of the modern day job seekers queuing up with their phones and whatnot. But ultimately it's a job centre. It was the first job centre, and that was that. So employment, we believe, still remains the best way, if not the only way, to get them out of poverty. But that being said, Booth understood, if not pioneered, the first things first approach. People are not going to listen to what you say if they're hungry or cold. You really need to provide a holistic service. So where did we go from here? So this is our delivery model today. It's pretty straightforward and almost basic, you could say, because really the story of Employment Plus is the story of our customers. There's nothing radical in there. There's really nothing groundbreaking. All of you are in the employability sector. Your manuals, your processes probably look very similar to this. Engagement, work experience, well-being, life skills, in-work support. There isn't anything groundbreaking in that model. But we don't just give people support. We go on the journey with them. And Sam will talk more about that in a minute. What makes us unique is that we're able to mobilise in centres like this all across the country. We are already working with the people in the community that are our clients. So we started here in February last year. So where there's a need, we can sort of wrap around the services that our wonderful community centres and volunteers are already providing to the community. It's a safe space for people to come and get help, where they're probably already coming in one way, shape or form, whether that's to the Mums and Tots group, whether that's to the cafe, whether that's to the knitting club, maybe not so for the age dynamics, but you know, you never know. Retirement age is going up every day. But actually, through our community centres, we are in a place where we can reach out to people and to engage them. So we have several expressions. So we've got a social enterprise, so we train people up as PAT testers, portable appliance testers. That's the electrical testing tags that you need to have on things. So we have a social enterprise that helps people to become employable and employed. And we have Employment Plus Locals, which are community-led job clubs, as Scott was mentioning earlier, and we have about 80 of those. They're predominantly volunteer-led, but some of them do have our employability practitioners in as well. And obviously more and more in society, it's not just about job seeking. We provide a digital inclusion point for people to come in and claim their benefits. Most of benefits claims, housing benefits, universal credit are becoming online. And so we provide support in our Employment Plus Locals. So we have a variety of different ways of doing things. And obviously we have our funded work and contractual work, if you like, such as the project that we're doing here, which is funded through European Social Fund money. So I won't yak on because it's not about me. I'll let Sam talk about the really important stuff. But what we do at the Salvation Army, I feel, is special, and I'm really, really proud of the staff on the front line that deliver it. You'll hear me say this time and time again. I spend a lot of time with the IEP. Anyone that's heard me talk about what we do, I feel the difference that we make is because we add a little bit of love, time, support. We truly invest in our staff, which is really what the IEP is all about, making sure that our staff are professional and well trained. We believe that every individual has loads of potential, and we'll work with everyone that comes through the door to help them to succeed. So thank you. I'll leave the history lesson there, and I will hand over to Sam, who can talk about what we're doing here in Newport. Thank you.